Without wasting much time, it is now my honor and privilege to invite the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Nzimande, to come and address the media briefing.
Thank you very much. I nearly did what people always say, that if it's an African person behind the mic, starts by saying, oh, program director, Vaal University, our deputy minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Nomalungelo Gina, our Director General, Dr. Mlungisi Cele, my Special Advisor, Ngaba Ngandela, Deputy DGs who are here, chairpersons and CEOs of our entities, members of the media, fellow South Africans. It's with great honor and pleasure that I address you today to formally announce the introduction of the inaugural edition of our country's National Science Month. This is a significant development for South Africa's public science and innovation system and for government's broader efforts to improve people's lives through science, technology, and innovation. Given the historic significance of this moment, I wish to highlight 4 important issues. The first is the origin and rationale for National Science Month. Since 2000, our department has implemented National Science Week as its flagship science engagement initiative. While National Science Week has achieved its core objectives, the 10-year review of National Science Week in 2011 and independent studies, including the 2022 South African Public Relationship with Science survey done by the HSRC, highlighted the need to significantly expand the scope and geographical reach of our science engagement efforts. This expansion is necessary because our public science and innovation system must respond more effectively to new global technological trends. Transformative technologies such as artificial intelligence, quantum computing, green energy technologies, and advanced biotechnology are profoundly reshaping the global economy and the way the world functions. That's why science, technology, and innovation is so important in today's development of the world, and not least our own country. In addition to responding to global technological change, we are also making decisive shifts to strengthen the relationship between our public science system and industry. This is essential to improving our innovation capabilities and advancing innovation-led industrialization. To put this differently, the honest truth is that no country can afford to further industrialize unless through innovation. And also, we cannot be able to advance innovation without industry. So the two things are deeply interlinked. It is for this reason that we recently hosted the inaugural Industrialization Through Innovation Summit, together with the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition. Additionally, next week, on the 8th of July, I will also participate in the inaugural Science, Technology and Innovation lecture to be hosted by the Science, Technology and Innovation Business Forum, which also is a platform that has been recently launched, to have business organizing itself around science, technology, and innovation, which is something that is very important. It was against this background that during the 2024 formal launch of National Science Week at the Central University of Technology in the Free State, I requested our department to expand and diversify our premier science engagement program from only being 1 week to actually stretch for the whole full month. It doesn't mean that science, technology, and innovation is only a 1 month thing. We do it every day. We should strengthen it every day. But we want a whole month to try and focus our country on the role and the importance of science, technology, and innovation. The transition to National Science Month is therefore more than an expansion of the National Science Week. It is an opportunity to deepen public appreciation of science, technology, and innovation by demonstrating how science helps us understand the natural and social world, create and apply new technological and social innovations, solve pressing real-world problems, and build the capacity of the state and economic actors to better serve the needs of our people. Equally important is our intention to showcase the transformative research and technologies produced by our public science institutions and to demonstrate how they improve the lives of citizens while enabling South Africa to achieve higher levels of development. Our decision to move from National Science Week to National Science Month is also informed by our departmental mantra, which is placing science, technology, and innovation at the center of government, education, industry, and society. Our mantra places several obligations on our department and its entities, including the need to be intentional about changing the notion that science is an elitist enterprise. The challenge that faces all countries is to actually make science understandable also to ordinary people, rather than being a project of elites. This is why we chose the theme Science, Technology, and Innovation are for everyone. This is the theme for this inaugural Science Month. The second issue I wish to highlight is some of the key features of the official launch event. The official launch of the National Science Month will take place on Thursday, 4 July, in Sebokeng at the Vaal University of Technology. As stated, the theme of the event, Science, Technology, and Innovation are for everyone. Through this theme, we seek to communicate that science, technology, and innovation belong to all people, regardless of ethnicity, class, gender, belief, or location, and that they must serve the needs of society as a whole. The launch event will set the tone for a comprehensive month-long program of meaningful public engagement with science. It will include an exciting science exhibition comprising 132 stands and more than 100 exhibitors. Participating institutions include the host, the Vaal University of Technology, as well as the universities of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, KwaZulu-Natal, Cape Town, Northwest, University of Limpopo, Stellenbosch University, University of Venda, Tshwane University of Technology, Durban University of Technology, Mangosuthu University of Technology, Sol Plaatje University, and Nelson Mandela University, among others. All these institutions will have some activity of one kind or the other during the Science Month, especially outreach programs. Participating institutions will also include entities of our department, such as the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the National Research Foundation, the Technology Innovation Agency, the South African National Space Agency, the Academy of Science of South Africa, the Human Sciences Research Council, and the South African Council for Natural and Scientific professions. These entities will form part of the exhibition and will also host Science Month engagement programs during July in support of the National Science Month. The third issue I wish to highlight are the target groups and thematic areas. National Science Month targets every sector of society, including learners, educators, students, scientists, researchers, innovators, industry players, indigenous knowledge holders, science interpreters, journalists, STEM professionals, government departments, research institutions, knowledge intermediary institutions, think tanks, tourists, and the general public. As a matter of fact, on Friday, I'm having a gathering in Durban with traditional leaders and traditional healers. Now, on a very interesting topic, by the way, they want to be, what do you call this, Sompis? Recognition of prior learning, so that the knowledge that they have can be able to be placed at a particular level in terms of our qualifications framework. It's a very interesting development. It's part of our work. My father was a herbalist. When he passed away, I thought I'll have nothing to do with herbalists. Little did I know that by being deployed into this department, I will have a lot to do with herbalists. They are very impressed, by the way, about my own knowledge, theoretical as it may be, of all things that herbalists do. Ukukhatha, ukuncinda, ukugquma, everything. No, akuwona amakhosi nyanga. Don't start. During July, over 31 days and across various provinces, these target groups, participating institutions and partners will take part in an exciting range of interactive activities curated around 14 thematic areas. We're going to be communicating this to the media, and we urge the media to be part of us. Without science, our country won't go forward. Without the media supporting the activities of science, we are not going to be able to communicate the messages. I would even argue, by the way, that the future of media itself rests with science and scientific advances. These thematic areas will include technology and innovation, science and human health, environmental conservation and management, science and service delivery, science and education, science and journalism, science and human rights, climate change, space science and astronomy, decolonizing knowledge systems, science diplomacy, science for decision makers, South Africans' relationship with science, public awareness of research and institutions, and science and youth. The launch of the National Science Month, also coincides with the Southern African Development Community SADC Industrialization Week, which will take place from the 27th to the 31st of July, leading up to South Africa hosting the next SADC Summit, which will be in Durban in August. We will therefore link the final week of the National Science Month program to this important SADC regional event. This linkage recognizes the need to strengthen regional economic integration and industrialization, especially in response to uneven economic development in our region, which, by the way, remains one of the factors contributing to tensions around immigration. Fact of the matter is that development within the SADC region is hugely uneven. And South Africa is the corner of the region that is most developed. So no one then should be surprised that patterns of migration are one way, coming to South Africa. We are dealing with that now. But for us as science people, we need to ask the question why and then provide answers. that unless there is regional economic integration and even development in the region, our migration patterns are not going to change. However, the fourth and final issue, which I wish to highlight, is the importance of using our science, technology, and innovation capabilities to reaffirm our national pride. Of course, we saw some of our pride with Bafana Bafana for the first time advancing through the group stages. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough science in Los Angeles last night for us to be able to go through Canada, which wasn't an impossible task, by the way, to do. But anyway, congratulations to Bafana Bafana. All countries use aspects of their national character to define themselves and forge a shared sense of pride among their citizens. Like all countries, South Africa faces its own developmental challenges. However, despite these challenges, there are many achievements we should be proud of and celebrate more openly, including our own advances in science, technology, and innovation. The National Science Month offers an opportunity to highlight an expanding range of societal stakeholders, both South Africa's significant capabilities and new frontiers and challenges to confront in the quest for a scientifically literate and competent society. Historically, and still to considerable extent today, South Africa possesses one of the largest and most advanced public science systems on the African continent. But we must ensure funding and social participation in the development and ensure this does not lag behind the pressing needs of the present and the future. In space science and astronomy, for example, South Africa is proud to co-host the Square Kilometre Array, the world's largest radio astronomy project, as well as another major scientific project, the Southern African Large Telescope. Both are located in the Northern Cape. DG, I don't know, I heard that there are new planets that have been discovered. I don't know whether maybe the SKA may have something to do with that, but we'll need to seek answers from also our colleagues from the CSIR and SANSA may be able to tell us a bit more about that. In health innovation, we have built this wonderful facility, which I wish one day we can take all of media to go there. The Nuclear Medicine Research Infrastructure at Steve Biko Academic Hospital. Here in Tshwane, this state-of-the-art facility advances drug development and clinical research using nuclear medicine, nuclear technology, and provides cutting-edge diagnostics and treatment for cancer, tuberculosis, and other major diseases. It is also the only facility of its kind on the African continent. You may also recall that at the height of the global outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, it was South African scientists who led the discovery of the new COVID-19 variant then. Recently, one of our partner companies, BioVac, received approval from the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority to begin clinical trials of its oral cholera vaccine. This is a major advance that now we're going to take vaccines orally and save the male species from its fear of injections. I don't know of any male who is not scared of injections. It's only women who often are not scared of injections. But this is an advance. It will also make it easier to treat or prevent cholera. This breakthrough positions our country to become a significant vaccine manufacturing hub and represents an important step in developing sovereign vaccine production capacity in Africa. This also contributes, by the way, to one of the objectives of the African Union's Agenda 2063, that at least by 2040, we must be producing all the vaccines we need in Africa, here in the African continent. and not depend to order them from outside our own continent. We are also proud of the significant impact of our scientists in advancing global science and innovation. This is evident in the contributions of people like Professor Tullio de Oliveira, Professor Salim and Kwarasha Abdul, Professor Salim Abdul Karim and Kwarasha Karim in genomics and HIV/AIDS research. Professor Vukosi Marivate in artificial intelligence and Professor Lizel Zulke in global health science research leadership. There are many others. I just mentioned a few. These and countless other examples are some of the inspiring science stories that all South Africans should know about. They demonstrate the value of science in everyday life and show how our public science system contributes to national progress. For this reason, we wish to make a special appeal to our colleagues in the media, as I have said, to support our efforts to promote South Africa's good science story and the vital role of science, technology, and innovation to the future of society. As I have said, who knows with new technologies, the threats that are facing the media industry itself, that in the end they might reach out to science in order to survive. In conclusion, National Science Month is not only about raising public awareness of the outstanding work being done by our public science institutions and scientists, it is also about using South Africa's science, technology, and innovation capabilities to develop evidence-based solutions to everyday challenges, such as unemployment, poverty, education, healthcare, water provision, energy security, crime, violence, and migration. By the way, we are not just going to be reacting to global scientific developments. We also want to contribute to that. We want innovation to support innovation here in South Africa, development of local technologies, some of which will become of global use. We therefore wish to use this historic announcement to make a strong call to every citizen and every family in every town and village to please find out which institution in your province will be participating in National Science Month activities and get involved. Of course, we'll be making announcements as the month proceeds on what is happening in what parts of the country. Finally, in my capacity as Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, which by the way now we're going to be urging everybody, let's not call this STI, let's call it ST and I. Okay? That's the new lingo now. Because the other lingo is confusing. ST and I. It is now my honor and privilege to formally announce the introduction of National Science Month as South Africa's premier science engagement initiative. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Minister. We'll go straight to the next item. Because the Minister did indicate that this is the inaugural, so the next part that we are going to go into now, and I'm looking at where Umkhulu Masebe is, please come closer, because this one needs extra expertise. Yes, yeah, extra expertise. Okay. Yeah. So we are now going to have, like the minister had indicated, that this is the inaugural edition of National Science Month. And like with all things new, there's also going to be new aesthetics around it, and more specifically, a new logo to symbolize this new edition. And the minister is going to be guided through this. Your tech literacy is going to be tested, Minister. Is going to be guided through this. But I would wish for everybody who's present, to encourage the minister. We are going to give the minister a countdown. I'm sure the minister has been given instructions on what to do. And if you could kindly just join in the countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
National Science Month. Science for everyone.
That is the official logo that is going to be used as part of the department's premier science engagement activity, National Science Month. And it is a product of inputs that have been received from various stakeholders who had submitted, and this is the one that the minister and the leadership came through. You had a lot of others that competed that were equally appealing and also, spoke to the issues. But this is the one that we came to. And on the day of the launch, through the minister, further explanation will be given around what it means and the background to what all of the artwork means. But there you have it. You are amongst the first to see it, the official logo for National Science Month going forward. Thank you very much. I suppose you can leave it now, so you can leave it there.
Yeah, no, I won't remove it.
Yeah, you can leave it there. Here. All right. Thanks so much, Mkhulu Masep. Thank you so much, Minister, Deputy Minister, DG, Special Advisor, and the other senior leadership members of the media. That concludes this part of the program. And like the minister indicated, because this is a month-long event, through the department, we would be making a number of announcements on the weekly activities because there are many and they are happening across the country. So please just watch that space. That concludes this media briefing. Thank you.